your pull for you. We'll have details on how much we're talking about, but
What's going on? How's everyone doing? This is Jay, aka the Ink Jedi. Welcome to another episode of the Comic Book Fiend Club presents the Fiend Cast. I'm not alone tonight. I'm joined by my co-hosts.
I am James, the Comic Raider, representing the West Chapter. What's going on, everybody?
What's up? Chad, aka Canadian Geek, representing, of course, the Canadian Chapter. How's everybody doing on a Sunday night?
Hopefully better than mine. Raiders lost yet again, so I'm going to have a little somber mood during this whole show. But it's all right. We'll get through it.
I'd pour out one for you boys in memory, but they're not worth the lost beer.
Whatever. So we're going to start off with, unfortunately, we missed last week. So we're going to start with, obviously, the biggest news that happened last week, which is the Avengers trailer. So we're going to show you the trailer real quick, and then we'll give our little breakdown of it and what we think about it, what we want from it, and everything like that good stuff.
All right, so I'm going to ask the guys to just let's mute our mics so we could hear the trailer.
This thing on? Hey, Miss Potts. If you find this recording, don't feel bad about this. Part of the journey is the end. Just for the record, being adrift in space with zero promise of rescue is more fun than it sounds. Food and water ran out 4 days ago. Oxygen will run out tomorrow morning. That'll be it. When I drift off, I will dream about you. It's always you.
Thanos did exactly what he said he was going to do. He wiped out 50% of all living creatures.
We lost. All of us. We lost friends. We lost family. We lost a part of ourselves. This is the fight of our lives.
This is gonna work, Steve.
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't.
Hi, is anyone home? This is Scott Lang. We met a few years ago at the airport in Germany. I got really big.
Is this an old message?
Ant-Man, I know you know that.
It's the front door.
That's me. Can you buzz me in?
And there you have it. The Avengers trailer. Pretty good trailer. Let's talk about it.
I'll start. So for me, it was pretty much everything that I thought it was going to be. At least in the sense of, we were talking about how they're not going to give away too much, and how do they do these trailers, without revealing all this stuff. And I thought the way that they did it was it's just perfect. It shows exactly who you thought it would, everyone that's alive. It all looks like it takes place in like one scene, and then with the exception of throwing in the random characters here and there. I mean, obviously you got the whole Ronin thing, which I think I would have liked to have waited to get that one, but I guess, for the most part, everybody kind of knew he was coming. And then obviously, because of that, you get these bad boys heating up here, and now all of a sudden these are expensive ass books for whatever reason. But that's just the way of the game. Can't get mad at it. It is what it is. But I liked it, so excited.
Cool. Yeah, it was a good trailer. I know you guys see the scene with Nebula. It looks like she's touching Tony's arm, but Tony isn't moving. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. It's good to see Scott Lang. You can see Bruce Banner was over here looking at it reminds me of that Infinity cover with all the screens that people saying missing, unknown. Yes. You saw Shuri there. We don't really know what happened to her. I have a feeling that she's going to play a role in this film. I read something interesting saying that, hey, what if when Thanos snapped, it didn't destroy them, but could have possibly sent them to a different dimension or another Earth, which would be a pretty interesting way to bring them back or something like that. I don't know. Just something I read earlier. I thought it was pretty cool. Scott Lang has the miniaturized machine that brings people into the quantum realm, and I feel like that's going to play a huge role. I believe they said that the time span between this last movie and this part of the movie is about a year or 2 years. That's why Steve was saying, "Oh, is this old message or something?" I don't know. I hope it's not one of those films where like that time travel is going to fix everything, because I always felt like that was kind of a cheesy cop out in books, because it's so easy to say, "Oh, we'll just go back in time and we'll fix it." So I hope it's something very creative. It definitely was enough to wet the palate and wait to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know it looks really cool. You mentioned, I didn't even think about it till right now when you talked about I read the thing about the whole alternate universe or something. It would be kind of cool if that was the way they decided to bring in the ultimate universe. That'd be kind of cool. It's like, no, okay, they're in the ultimate universe now, and like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. My favorite part of the trailer, other than seeing Thanos' armor in the cornfield, which was like shot for shot from the comic book. He puts his armor up and as a scarecrow. I love the shot of Ronin. I was like, okay, cool. Finally, like Hawkeye, you always like him, but now he looks like a badass. Right. Like you're guessing that because right when they show him, you hear Steve Rogers, his voiceover saying, some people lost everything. So it leads you to believe that he lost his kids and his wife, and he's just out to kill every bad person he can find. I heard it was like 3 to 5 years after. So that'll be kind of interesting to see what happens there. I also read that Nebula, if you watch it again, you look really closely, Tony is wearing that blue jacket that he had on when he first faced Ebony Maw and the big dude on the streets. So yeah, I don't know if he's not moving or if he's passed out, or there's lots of cool little things if you look for them. There's lots of little tidbits here and there to read into and see what's going on. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I think it looks really cool.
Fly Guy asks theories on how Tony gets saved. I mean, Pepper Potts would probably either that or I don't know. I've heard Pepper Potts maybe saves him from space. Maybe someone said Beta Ray Bill. That'd be fucking cool. I don't know. I so many questions, right? No Captain Marvel in the trailer. So when does she come in? How long is it actually going to take her to get to Earth? But I think that answer will probably be maybe in the end credits of her movie. So once that comes out, we'll probably know. And like what Chad was saying, like that pic of Thanos' armor, in the fields. Russo's brothers are quoted as saying that Thanos is in Titan 2, which is, his homeworld. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do and wrap this one up. I mean, this is going to be the end of Phase 3 and will lead us into Phase 4. And, we already confirmed that there's Homecoming's coming out. So we know Tom Holland's going to come back some way or somehow. And
Far From Home, yeah.
Yeah, Far From Home, sorry. Yeah, Far From Home. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. It's confirmed that it's already after Endgame. So
we know he's back. And
also, I mean, last time unless I missed something, so go ahead and enlighten me, but last time we saw Ant-Man, he's as the end credits, and he's in the quantum realm,
right?
And they talk about how don't do this, blah blah blah, because you can't get back out, blah blah blah, and then they get whisked away. So the fact that he's in the trailer, doesn't that then tell you that he some way somehow gets out, right? Which was the whole point of he's not supposed to be able to get out, so he does. And then we'll have to figure out, how does he use that maybe knowledge or whatever he did to get out to help everything.
Real quick, I think what happens is the dude, I forget his character's name, but Goliath, Lawrence Fishburne, because they say, we got this energy for Ghost. So obviously they're helping Ghost and him make her better. I think when the snap happens, maybe Ghost survives, maybe she doesn't, but I think Bill Foster. Bill Foster, I think he survives, and he's trying to call Hank Pym, and he's not answering. So, but he knows where they are. I think he goes and he hears Scott yelling over the radio, "Yo, somebody get me out of here!" And he brings him out, and it's like probably a pretty big mind fuck, because if it is 2 or 3 years later, that'd be pretty crazy. Because I think if they said in the quantum realm, time slows right down.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
And you see Cap with the shaved beard and different.
I don't like it. I liked him as his big, bearded, just kick ass, but it looks like he's part of the Avengers again.
And they were still able to keep that mood you had when you left the theaters, that grim despair, seeing Thor just I think out of anyone, let's say Thor probably lost the most. He lost Asgard, he lost his hammer, he lost his brother, he lost his father, had to kill his sister.
Looks like he just lost a rap battle.
Yeah, and it's essentially he has to live with the guilt of the fact that he could have ended it, but because he wanted to, do it, just like he told him, he should have went for the head. He has to live with that.
Lost his.
Could I have finished this?
Thor lost a lot of shit, man.
He's
his arc has been so interesting to me, right? I didn't like the first Thor movie. I thought it was okay. Second movie I thought was good. Third was great. And then between all the Avengers films, his characters really progressed, I think, out of almost all of them.
Oh, yeah.
The most, yeah, definitely.
This dude's lost so much.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be cool, and there's so many different fan theories, and it's interesting because I like that there's so many theories that everyone I'm hearing, I'm like, okay, I could go there. Anything I hear, I'm like, okay, if it goes down that path, that's cool. If it goes on that one, that's cool too. There's no direction I'm looking for this movie to go in particular. Overall, I want something, but how they do this, how they do that, I'm just like, well, there's so many awesome fan theories. There's a fan theory of a Shuri and Tony, combine their smarts and they make an Infinity Gauntlet, which is possible. So
we'll see. We'll see what they do, man. But like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how it's gonna end. Like Chad said, you read all the theories online, man, but you just don't know where they're going and what direction they're going. You don't know who's gonna make it out and who's not gonna come back. For all we know, we might see a new Guardians of the Galaxy theme. We don't know where Valkyrie is. She may still be running around. So we'll see, man. But it's a great trailer. I think it gave us just enough to be interested and hang on until April.
Yeah.
April.
Mm-hmm. April 26th, I think.
Can't wait. So that's the trailer. So now we're going to talk about some movies that actually did come out that we have seen. So first up, we're going to go with the one that, I don't know, I just breaking the internet pretty much. All I keep seeing is how this is the best freaking superhero movie ever and just rave reviews, which is, of course, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So I haven't seen it. I'll probably go see it sometime this week. I don't believe Chad has seen it either, correct?
No.
All right. So we're going to pass this to Jay so he can give us a breakdown of what he saw.
We went earlier today, Sunday, and usually the movies are pretty quiet. Sundays, that's when me and Jen usually like to go, kind of just not be around all the people.
Time out.
Yeah.
Sorry. Spoiler free. We're going to keep it spoiler free.
Yeah, spoiler free. I want everyone to go see it.
Spoiler free.
I will say, so we got there, and I would say that the theater was about 90% packed. Mostly kids, which is great to see kids going to movies. Anything to get them interested in reading comics is always good for us and the industry. So we went in there, and I will say that the movie had something for everyone, from kids to adults. There was a lot of references there that comic fans will get. There's things that kids will get. The movie itself told a really good story, and it's a really good finding yourself kind of story. You have all the different Spider-Mans. There's a couple of good cameos. I don't want to ruin. There's a couple of surprise voice actors there that I don't want to ruin. Definitely stay all the way through to the end. You'll see something interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of Miles Morales. Admittedly, I've never read a ton of his stuff, but watching the movie made me now kind of want to check it out for myself and maybe pick up some books or omnibus. I know they came out with an omnibus recently, where you could get that at instocktrades.com, unofficial sponsor of the Fiendcast. And I will say that the movie had a pretty decent runtime. And then just seeing all the different Spider-Mans, you had Spider-Man Noir, you had Peter Parker, Peter B. Parker, you had Gwen Stacy. You have a ton of different
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham was there. He was really good. Not to spoil anything, but he pulled out a mallet out of nowhere and just fucking whacked someone with it. It was hysterical. Like I said, it had a little something for everything and everyone.
The Stan Lee cameo.
You get a cameo, which man really fucked me up. I will say, because it's not just like his normal I'm here cameo. I'm saying one line. He says something really powerful in the movie. Go check it out. But it's a really good story. You get to see how Miles as a kid, maybe not the most confident in the world, and his dad's a cop, and just how life was in Brooklyn. And growing up in Brooklyn myself, I was like, okay, they really captured that feel of New York City, which is great. I won't say this is the best superhero movie, but I will say this. It's one of the best animated movies I've seen, even more so than DC. And DC makes really good animated films. So Sony did a really good job with this. I totally forgot that this was going to be a Sony movie. So when the title roll, you see Sony Entertainment, I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is a Sony movie. But yeah, it's really good. And I think everyone, we have some really good movies coming out. If you could go check out Spider-Verse and check out Aquaman, maybe during Christmas, good on you. Go watch this movie. They did a really great job. And I think this opens the doors for other animated, you know. Also, I will say the music was spectacular. This music was really, really good. The art was amazing. There's certain scenes where it's regular animated, and then there's scenes where it's like straight out of a comic book.
Oh, sweet.
Not to spoil anything, just be a small little spoiler. Anytime they introduce someone, they give you the backstory of who they are, where they come from, and it's really neat.
Nice.
I mean, it's very, like I said, something for everybody, especially comic fans. I will say that. So definitely go check out Into the Spider-Verse. It's well worth the money.
Did you see it in 3D or regular?
I started regular. 3D gets me motion sick, so I don't always watch shit in 3D unless I like absolutely have to.
Okay. I saw someone on like a Facebook group or something said that they loved it in 3D.
Oh yeah,
so,
you definitely will. There's a lot of great scenes, let's say, you know, and if you've played Spider-Man for PS4, like picture that, but just in 3D and much more animated than that.
Awesome.
that's what I was gonna say, because there's a lot of movies that you can watch and you can just tell, like, okay, this one would be great in 3D. You know, they do certain scenes that are just designed for 3D, and then there's other movies that are like, no, that it wouldn't make any difference to see it that way.
Let's see, maybe like in another month or two, if everyone's seen it, we'll do a little spoiler segment, so that way we could actually talk about, you know,
all the
What's
shit that
going
goes
on,
down.
right.
Okay. All right. So next up is the one that I just saw, which is yesterday. I went to go see Aquaman. Thanks to the Amazon Prime deal.
Nice.
So it was. I'm gonna forget the runtime. I want to say it was like 2.5 hours or something like that. So it was a long movie. But I loved it. Plain and simple, I loved it. My wife loved it. My dad went with us and he loved it. The guy next to me, it's a random stranger. I don't know if he did. He laughed quite a lot. Like, you know, like when they're just sitting there and they're like, like just laughing at everything because I think he thought it was like hella cheesy.
He's
Right.
probably
So-
high the whole time.
That too. I mean, I'll be honest. Yes, there's going to be some. If I'm going to come up with some complaints here, there's a little bit of cheesy acting, of course. A little bit of cheesy lines. That just it happens. Nothing that like made me go, "Oh my god, this is just trash." I also the music is a little like different. There was a couple times when like I heard the music during the scene and I was like, "Whoa!" Like I don't know why. Like I guess it was. I don't know if it's bad, but it was enough to catch my attention, which I don't think music's really supposed to do. And so it was like interesting. But overall, story wise was great. The visuals were spectacular. This is what I was just talking about. I have to go see this one again in 3D because I have to see Atlantis in 3D. I think it would just be so much better to see, or IMAX 3D, just to see the colors, because it really is just as good as it looks on the commercials. The cinematography, I thought was amazing. And it's again nothing that you don't see in the trailer. The fight scenes with Nicole Kidman, and then the whole running one that you saw with Black Manta chasing them, and then the war that you see in the trailer. All three of them were just awesome. That whole like camera spinning around the room kind of thing, and it's just following all the different action, and just oh my god, it was just awesome. So that part I loved. I think they nailed that. They nailed the scenes, or like the land, Atlantis, and all that kind of stuff. And I just, I mean, I loved it. I loved it.
How's Black Manta?
He was good. You have his build up throughout the movie. The costume was really, really good. I thought he was a good actor. Again, he had a couple moments where I was like, but overall, I thought he was a great villain. So was Ocean Master, because obviously that's another big part of the movie. So both of them were really, really good, and I hope that I just hope that this sets up, some future stuff. I think DC, like I talked about before, between Wonder Woman and now this one, I think DC is on its way back. I think that they're learning from their mistakes, and I'm excited for the next Wonder Woman. And I think what we're doing is we're starting to get that positive trend with their movies for sure.
Yeah, it looks like it. All the people I've talked to that have seen it, because unfortunately here in Canada, even though we have Amazon Prime, that deal wasn't part of ours. But I saw a few buddies in the States who saw it, and they said it was like you said, James. It was a good. It knew when to take itself seriously. It knew when to be a little bit campy. It knew when to be a little bit humorous. And if people say, "Oh, they're taking a page out of Marvel's book," cool, finally.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Like you use what works and suit it to your project, and it'll be good. So I'm excited to see. I want to see it Thursday in IMAX. So
Yeah,
nice.
I'm gonna probably see it because I'm working probably Christmas Day or day after Christmas. Speaking of Aquaman, if you go to InStockTrades.com right now, you could pick up Aquaman by Geoff Johns, the omnibus. It's at 50% off, guys. So you get it for $37.50. It's a good read. Pick it up. I'll be picking it up myself. I think, James, you already picked it up too?
I already did.
Because Super Sons is coming out, so I might wait to pick
Super
up
Sons
both.
is coming out. I have 2 orders, and I'm trying to remember the other big... Oh, so Monday I have Colors by Jeff Loeb coming.
Okay.
So that one is coming on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll have the Aquaman one on Thursday.
Good deal.
But yeah, that's a great storyline from what I've heard. I picked up a couple of issues during the time, but that was it.
Sweet.
But it's a great story. I do want to go back to the comments here. A couple people have mentioned about the storylines and how you got all these different storylines going on in the trailer, as you can see. Obviously, like we talked about in previous episodes, it was like, well, you're going to have Black Manta. You're going to have this war. You're going to have the trench going on. Like, how do they do it all?
Right.
I thought they nailed it. I really do. At no point was I like, this is dumb. The pacing was dumb. I didn't think that. I didn't think any of it was bad. I thought it was. They really did a good job of how Black Manta gets incorporated, and then how they transition to Ocean Master, how they transition to the trench thing. Like, I thought they did a great job.
So they didn't just like say, okay, here's Black Manta, there you go, with no explanation. They kind of just...
No. There's a reason why Black Manta is there when they're there. There's a reason for the trench. There's a reason for the big war at the end. Like, there's a reason for all this stuff to happen. And so they nailed it. I mean, plain and simple. That part, if you're worried about that, I don't think you should be.
Can't wait to see it. I'll check it out, definitely. And then I guess when
I'm wrong, come back and tell me.
I guess what we could do is too, once we've all seen it, we could do a spoiler, talk about it. I think that'll be fun to do. Cool.
It was good. So let's see. Next up is we're going to jump back to TV shows in a series that we've been talking about for quite a while. One that I still have not seen that's about to enter its finale, which is Titans. They just released the trailer. That came out today or what? A couple days ago?
A couple days ago.
And when does it air? Do we know?
The 21st.
Okay.
I want to say.
So,
I mean,
I thought it would look really good, but go ahead.
The trailer's awesome. The build up. So, I know Titans had a bad rap before even the show came out, and that definitely hurt it. I've been watching, and it's really good. It's not perfect, but it's really good. I mean, you've had stuff like Jason Todd showing up and causing a shit stir. You have the Doom Patrol showing up. They're in the show. Robot Man, Negative Man, and Elastigirl, and the Godfather. He's there. They're introducing these characters that will eventually have their own shows. So it's pretty nice to see that they actually share a universe, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
The show's dark, but it's not like depressing dark, if that makes any sense. It's dark where it's like shit gets really gritty. Example of that is Hawk and Dove. They actually show both versions of Hawk and Dove, both the Ditko and the Liefeld versions and they show you how they get to wherever they. I don't want to spoil it because I really want people to watch it. Let's see. They introduced Donna Troy, who's Wonder Girl, and they acknowledge her as that. Starfire begins to remember who she is, and it's all winding down where Rachel, who is Raven on the show, is discovering who she is really, and they are trying to get the big bad of the season, which is going to be her father, Trigun. He's in the show. But the season finale is actually going to have a very interesting premise. I'm interested to see how they're going to go. And I was actually pretty surprised when I saw the trailer. And I think a lot of people were, because they weren't expecting something like this. I'm going to show the trailer. My brothers, can you please just mute yourselves so everyone can hear?
Jace?
What's up?
What are you doing here?
It's Batman. He's in trouble. Gotham's gotten worse. Commissioner Gordon's dead. Batman is going to kill the Joker. You need to come back to Gotham and convince him not to do it.
Bruce Wayne's not my responsibility.
But he saved you, Dick. What if you're the last person on Earth who can save him?
He lost his conscience.
He never had a conscience.
He's the only hero that Gotham has left. If he goes bad, the city goes down.
Bruce! Wait! This wasn't justice. This was a massacre.
There's no saving him anymore. He has to be stopped.
Bruce, it's Dick. We're coming after you.
Batman. He chose to embrace his darkness rather than deny it.
This is what you've always wanted. Wanted me to give in to the darkness, to become you. I'm a murderer. Let's end this.
Yo, that's nuts. Yeah, so as you see in the trailer, and was posted by DC Universe, it looks like Batman just killed his entire rogues gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, thoughts on the trailer? It made me hyped just because I've been watching the show. Really don't sleep on this show. It's ending next week, is the season finale. So, get the free week or free month or whatever and marathon the shows over the Christmas break. Check it out. 1 or 2 episodes maybe are not going to be so interesting, but the majority of the show is pretty good. This is a crazy build up. I don't want to get into how I think it happens because it might spoil a lot of the show. But just seeing like actual Batman in a movie, in a show, it's pretty exciting.
Well, it seems like you guys have been talking about it for a month or two now, and I'm waiting in Canada. It drops on Netflix on January 11th, the whole season. So nice. I'll probably just binge it that weekend. But I'm wondering, and you can tell me, Jay, since you've been following it, would it be possible for them to do, because they have this universe, or at least this world? They've shown us the Titans, and they've shown Doom Patrol. We know they're getting a show, and these other characters. Could they pull off a Batman show? Even if it's not like based on what he does in that episode, maybe they can't go forward. But could they pull off like a prequel? Because he's supposed to be older. Could they pull off a Batman show based on the Batman they show in this world? Because that'd be cool to see.
Man, if they throw enough money behind it, they probably can. Just the cinematics in this show is really good. So I think they could do a not as high budget as, let's say, a movie, but they may be able to do something. How many episodes? So check this out. So they released early episodes to a few select people to review, but they only did episodes 1 through 10. They recently revealed this episode 11, and people who were reviewing didn't even know this episode was happening. So people thought that this series was only going to be 10 episodes long. Then they're like, nah, we're gonna throw in this 11th episode, but it's going to be some shit, because I guarantee you, if that would have leaked beforehand, we would have heard about it. And I think that's
Yeah.
why I
Yeah.
was so surprised. I'm like, oh shit! Like I thought it was just gonna be about 10 episodes. So you're gonna have an 11 episode season of Teen Titans. Yeah, it's gonna be fucking sick. And I think we're seeing Dick slowly turn into Nightwing in this season.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think what that trailer does is exactly what it should have done, which is where everybody who's been watching it, now it's hyped because now it's going to end with a great finale. Everyone who hasn't sees it and goes, what the fuck? Okay, I need to check this shit out. How did that happen? How did we get there? So now, I mean, I would love to see the numbers of how many people have continued to jump on, and especially after this one, how many people have now tuned in to see it. I would love to know that because I assume this trailer is going to get people to watch it if they're not already. It would have got me, but
And the fact that they're sharing a whole universe, Doom Patrol with Hawk and Dove, and Batman and Swamp Thing. I mean, this is what DC needed to do in their films, which I think they're just coming around to now. Just having that shared universe. And, man, it's going to be good. I'm really excited to watch.
Yeah. And then, going to what Chad was saying about the Batman show, you could almost even do like, what if you just did a detective comic show where you focused more on him
cool.
as the detective and less, that way you wouldn't need as much of the action.
Right.
Because some of those storylines, Black Mirror is a great example of, and then most of them, all of them by Jeff Loeb, those are great examples of detective comics. That's not the big crazy action.
Almost like a crime noir show.
And just let it be each episode its own thing, kind of like Sherlock was.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
That would probably work. I mean, yeah, you'll have a little bit of action here and there, but I think, like, one of my favorites is Long Halloween, and that focuses on the detective him. It's the murders happening every single holiday, and that's what I think would be cool, and it would be different, and it would keep people entertained, for sure. So that'd be cool to see, especially since Gotham sucks.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Now, the CW already has their DC world. No, but I'm just saying, like, could that be something that they explore in this universe if there's enough interest? Like, because those shows are going to end eventually. Like, Stephen Amell can't play Green Arrow forever. Grant Gustin can't play Flash forever. So could they bring in maybe like other characters from those universes or other Flashes and stuff? Could they bring that? Do you think that's something they'd look into if it was popular enough?
I'm sure. I mean, I guess it depends on how all these other shows do. I, for one, I'm probably really excited for Doom Patrol because I really enjoyed Grant Morris's run of that book. And I think that's where the influence of the show is coming from. It's going to be based a lot off Grant Morrison's work. Swamp Thing, I'm really excited for. They just had some new castings, and don't remember anyone specific, but they just casted a shit ton of people. What did you guys think of the Elseworlds crossover? Did any of you guys watch it? I haven't been able to sit down and watch TV.
It didn't record on my freaking PVR. I could watch The Flash because we get weekly Flash episodes on Netflix here, so I could watch The Flash, but that was it. So I was like,
I haven't watched it, but we should make a point to watch it. It's our duty.
I know. Mike, Gotham City Comics, he watched it. He loves it. He's a super fan of the freaking CW ones. He saw it. He loved it. I've never watched it. I think I watched like 2 episodes of Flash, and that's it. I've literally never seen any of the other CW
same
shows.
Here.
Hater.
But he loved it. He thought it was great. I did see the little clip of like Batwoman coming on and everything, and that was pretty badass. So that covers that question. Ben asked about Gotham. I mean, that's a twofold thing. Number one, we're known as like the haters here a little bit, but I did watch Gotham up until the last couple seasons, and then it just kind of fell off for me. So I don't know if it's bad, but just definitely not for me anymore.
I've tried to watch some of it too, and I'm in the same boat where I like James Gordon, and I'll be interested to see like some stories with him, as a cop. But I just feel like they're just throwing shit at the wall and they're trying to see what's gonna stick, So I can't get. I'm not super interested in it at all. Not really.
No, I watched it till they did Solomon Grinding, and I was like, oh,
Really?
I'm out.
Oh yeah,
I gotta look that up. I
Oh
didn't
god,
even
it's
know they did
just-
that. God.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just like, wow. And then they showed Bane. I was like, what? Okay,
That
Oh,
really did
Lord.
look bad. Now,
Bane looks like a paint contractor on meth.
Oh,
Like,
but he did look bad. Now they did have the little leak stuff of 3 that I thought were awesome. Penguin and Riddler are going to get their costumes this last season. They'll be
Yeah.
in their green and purple suits. That looked cool. That little clip or trailer that they showed of Scarecrow looked pretty badass. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he looked
Yeah.
pretty awesome in that. Not enough for me to watch the show, but as far as character design goes, they nailed it with those 3. The Bane does look absolutely terrible. So,
right.
Now
Maybe I'll
Gotham.
check that out.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures you're talking about. I did enjoy that. I like when they could wear something similar to their original costumes. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. By the
It would
way,
be cool
Aquaman. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Aquaman in costume was awesome. I loved it. I love that moment. But anyway, sorry. Keep going.
Oh, and his armor from the trailer. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
finally they figured out how to do it. Yeah.
It looked good. All of them did. Ocean Master has his too, and they just man, costume design was awesome on it too. Sorry, keep going.
No, I was gonna say, because if you look at Gotham, if you look at maybe like I said, I haven't watched last season and a half. If you looked at things like how they dress, the cars they use, the phones they use, it looks like it's like 10, 15 years ago for compared to today. So I'm wondering, and we all know, if you don't know, at the end of the episode, I don't know if it's gonna be the whole episode yet. I haven't heard anything, but we know at the last episode of Gotham this season is the last season. At the last episode, we are gonna see Batman. It's gonna jump ahead like 10 years, and he's gonna be Batman. It'd be interesting if DC said, well, screw it, we'll take that Batman from Gotham and we'll put him in the Titans universe. And if you have like an actor or 2 that you can bring over into a show and have them be the bridge, and you're like, oh shit, it's that actor from Gotham, are we gonna be the Batman? Because that'd be really cool. Like, I'm really excited to see that stuff. And yeah, Gotham was they just got a little too crazy. But James, you should totally give Flash a shot. Even in the first season of Legends of Tomorrow, because those CW shows are pretty good. They're kind of campy, but they're pretty good. So
I'm not, but I would have to catch up on like what a shit ton of seasons, right?
Yeah, bang off like 2 episodes a day, man. You'll be caught up in like a month.
Man. I got so much other stuff. I'm not even caught up on Netflix stuff. It's that bad, really bad. So that pretty much does it for our entertainment stuff. So I guess we're gonna have to jump to my favorite segment, which is Raiders Rants, which I usually do on the club page. But this week we got news of a series called Border Town that is going to be canceled, which is this series right here. The writer is Eric Esquivel, and it is an artist of Ramon Villalobos, who is local to me. He's from Northern California, 209. So he was pretty much accused of sexual abuse. I'm just gonna read from the article here, and then I'll give my little inputs here. So, Eric Esquivel, writer of the acclaimed new DC Vertigo series Border Town, was identified this week in an account of sexual abuse, which has spurred his collaborators to announce their departure from the title. The accusations originated Sunday in a blog post by toy designer Cynthia Noggle, who recounts her experience with a former coworker at a Tucson, Arizona comic store. She only identifies the subject as X, but the detailed account of abuse and harassing behavior, including sexual assault, clearly notes the man has a current Vertigo series. People familiar with his work history connected the dots and quickly identified him as the unnamed subject. Since then, the response has been rapid and multifaceted. He appears to have deleted most of his social media presence, with the exception of his Twitter account, which has been locked from the public view. I'm not gonna read you guys the whole blog. You guys can find it online. If you guys go to cbr.com, they'll have a link to her blog. But I read that and I was like, okay, that's really, really bad. I did like the series. I'll talk about the series real quick. It's just, I think we've talked about it before, actually. It's about a bunch of kids that are living on a border town, and it dives into kind of like the hate and discrimination that we face in today's world. And then it also deals with the Hispanic culture folklore, like characters like a chupacabra and stuff like that. And they're like monsters, and they live in this universe, and they're kind of like starting to escape little by little into Earth and into this border town, and the kids have to like fight them off and everything. And this last series was really like getting into the big grand scheme of things and how they were building this really big world. It seemed like, so it really sucks that it's going to get canceled, but for good reason. Because then I read this blog, and I'm not going to read you guys the whole thing because it is really really long. But basically, she gets into the fact that she was working at a comic book store, and she got promoted to be an assistant to a marketing manager, who was him, Eric Esquivel at the time. And they started to work closely together, and then he started, making his little advances, touching her leg, trying to kiss her, all that kind of stuff. Tells her to go back to his place, and really just intimidates her into pretty much sexual assault. And it slaps her in the face. And she says she pretty much just froze after that and just let it happen. And then she goes back to work. And they continue to work together. He had a girlfriend at the time, and they were in a polyamorous relationship. And she knew about the encounter with the two of them. And so then she tells this story of, one day they're working late at night, and the girlfriend comes to the store. She goes to the back room where he follows her, pushes her up against the wall, goes to take off her clothes. She tells him, "No, your girlfriend's here." And he tells her, I want to show you to her." She keeps saying, "No, no, no." He grabs her wrists and he pulls her out to the front room, which is where the girlfriend was. The girlfriend saw her and says, quote, "You're beautiful, but no." And so then she's now humiliated. She runs away crying. And it just continues on with stuff like that, of him just pressuring her into sex. He would be judgmental on books that she was reading, food she was eating, friends that she had. And just, it's fucking terrible. And sickening. I apologize for my dog in the background. And just absolutely terrible. And then the reason why it came to be known that it was him is because, like, way later on in the blog, she talks about how she now got invited to Tucson Comic-Con, and then she says that he was there at Tucson Comic-Con, and then she literally says he was promoting his new DC Vertigo book or whatever. So then people were like, "Oh shit," and boom, immediately just connected the dots. He's outed. It wouldn't take long to figure out. Guy who's got a new Vertigo title. Was he at Tucson Comic-Con? Did he used to be from that area working at a shop? And boom, people just put two and two together. As soon as that happened, his colorist, she dropped from the title. I think she's still under contract for like maybe one or two more of the books, but she was like, "I'm done." Villa Lobos, who's the artist, he was like, "I'm done." He dropped out. I think I put his quotes up. Just talking about how he had heard rumors of Eric and his past, and that they kind of like did their due diligence to figure out, is this true? And then, so it just, I mean, I don't know, man. That shit, it's sickening. It's really, really, once you read that blog, like, if you have a chance, read the blog. It is pretty long, but that shit's rough, man. It's rough, and it really is irritating, for sure.
Yeah, that shit's fucking crazy. I mean, but I wonder, though, when they say they did their due diligence, like, it sounds like there's a long history between him doing that to that girl. How much? And I guess it's hard because if nobody has proof, and if it's all hearsay, it's kind of hard for them to do due diligence. But I'm glad she came out, and I hope this guy, like, people don't realize there is a lot of legal ramifications. Like, this guy's not just losing his job. Guaranteed police and lawyers are going to get involved. Even his girlfriend at the time could face legal action if they can prove that she knew what he was doing with this girl and she didn't do anything about it. So, I'm glad that his colorist, did they do it publicly, James? Like, I haven't read the blog.
Twitter.
I'm busy with
Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm glad they came out and said, yeah, we're not. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man. Ugh. I mean, that's pretty heavy, dude. I mean, and then you get, the discussing people are like, "Oh, well, if it happened, why didn't she say something?" You have to understand too that victims don't come out because immediately they're not believed, or they're put down, or they're they're treated as if they're full of shit and lying. I think, I mean, bravo for her for coming out and telling her story, because it takes a lot, man. Especially, it sounds like it's something that's been going on for a long time. And I guess them being at the same con maybe said, okay, she's like, I can't do this. I can't be near him. Let me come out and tell people what happened. I mean, it just goes to show, man, like, we live in a different world. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have respect for people period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that means that someone says no, it's no. That means, keeping it in your pants and learning how to set boundaries. And it seemed like this guy was just a creep, and then like abusing her and hitting her and all that shit. I mean, if he's able to, I don't know how long ago this was, but I'm sure it's within the statute of limitations, and I hope that, he gets whatever's coming to him, because shit like that isn't acceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and people got to realize too, and I took this in school when I was in police foundations, and I know lots of people in that victim help industry. I don't say industry, but they victim helping jobs, whether it be mental health or sexual health, whatever it is. When a person does that and they have a position of power over you, like Harvey Weinstein, we'll use that example. He's been thanked more times in Oscar speeches and movie speeches than God. When you have a person who you feel has power over you, could torpedo your career, you especially for artists, like to become popular in comics is very hard. So if you've been working for 10, 15 years or 5, whatever, doesn't matter how long you've been working. If you've been working your ass off for it, and you're like almost there, you're feeling you're getting there, you're getting your name out there, people know who you are, and then you got this guy who's like, looks to you and says, I will ruin your career. Everything you've worked for, all the money and hours you put into school to hone your craft, I will destroy it. I'll put rumors out there. I'll tell people not to hire you. It's like you do like almost like a cost analysis in your head sometimes, like, hey, well, I don't want to lose that. I've worked so hard for that, So it takes a lot of courage for it to come out like that, because it's a big thing, and that's just it sucks that there's some people out there that do that, because that's really just, it's a shitty human. Like, the guy's a piece of shit, and anybody who does that, because people don't realize what it does mentally to people. Like, you're breaking somebody down right into themselves. So I'm glad she came out, and I hope if there's more people out there, more people in the industry, I hope they come out too.
Yeah, so I'll reference a few things here. So her blog says it started in 2012, 2013, which is only 5-6 years ago. So and then as far as I want to get Ramon's part correct. What he said in his quote was, there had been vague rumors about Eric and his treatment of women, and although I was given no real specifics, I insisted to him that he come clean to me and our team about any inappropriate interactions he may have had. I think now that I did not give enough weight to those rumors, and I can't state enough how much I regret that. To the best of my abilities, I took the matters through the proper channels, and DC Vertigo handled it in a way that felt responsible and direct. So basically, it's more like rumor. He had heard rumors about him, and he had expressed to him about him, and I'm sure, he said, no. And, he believed him, which now he obviously regrets that decision. But even in her blog, she talks about how he would tell, part of the reason why she came clean is because he would tell people, including his, like, I don't know if it's his current girlfriend or the girlfriend at the time that he had at Comic-Con, how much he loved her, and she was like a big part of his life, and how she was the one that got away. And so, like, when she ran into him at the Comic-Con and was introduced to the girlfriend was telling her, like, oh, I've heard so much about you, it's so nice to meet you, and like, he basically talked positively about her, aka being a manipulative little bitch. And so then she really came out, and she does say in here that she's talked about how she has spoken to many women in the past. I'm trying to find it. She's talked to other women that have been with him and have been abused in the same way by him. And so it doesn't sound like she's just one person. So, I mean, I hope that kind of clears up the questions of, is it real or not? But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I definitely have to believe it. And to what Jay said, I mean, just in her own damn blog, I made the dumbass mistake of scrolling down too far and reading the comments, and that shit's in the comments. I mean, the fucking people who are like just saying terrible things and just it's. But I'm trying to pay attention to the positive comments that are on her page. But there is definitely those really, really bad ones for sure.
But you're saying, how do you know it's true? Well, firstly, she never said his name by name. So if she was planning to sue him, she would just call him out by name. Secondly, other women have come out and talked about how creepy and weird he was. Again, yeah, we don't know. Let them do their investigation. But honestly, you have dudes like Brock Turner who raped someone, and legit people saw it, and he got out in what, 3 months probation, three months in jail. Come on, the system's a joke, bro. Like. That's bullshit. Like,
yeah, one or two people say it, okay. 3 or 4 people are talking about, okay. But when you have 6 or more people all saying the same stuff, then it's and different people from different walks of life and different areas, like colorists and artists and all this other thing. You got to kind of look into it. And the fact that he's been so radio silent, because if he felt he was right, or if he was he didn't do what he said she's saying he did, he would come out and say, no, I didn't do that. He would deny it. Him shutting off all, especially his Twitter. You said, James, do you say his Twitter's still open or it's closed to the public?
His Twitter is closed to the public. I have his response to this though.
Yeah, you want to read?
But he's
that?
probably
and you're right.
Scrubbed all that stuff.
And Boogie's right. The system's a joke. I mean, let them do their investigation. But to me, by not naming a name in her post and not fully coming out and saying this guy did this to me, to me, that's saying, like, just be careful. I'm not going to name names, but this is what happens in the industry, and protect yourself. If she really wanted to, she could have been like, okay, this person did X, Y, Z to me. But James, you said in her blog post, he just mentioned some work he was doing or whatever. Didn't mention him by name, which is very important, too, because, you know, he could turn around and sue her. You know, that's another tactic people use is, okay, I'm going to sue you now for I forget what's the legal term. It's defamation of character. Yeah. So that's why she probably didn't use a name either. So these are super delicate situations, man. And you don't want to believe everyone off bat. You kind of want to let, you know, whoever's doing the investigation investigate and see what their findings are. But, you know, her blog was very detailed with specific things and specific situations, and it's not something where, like, you know, it doesn't sound like she's breaking her story, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times you'll get situations where, you know, people do lie and their stories are never straight, you know what I mean? They're always kind of, this happened this way, but then they'll change the story and say, okay, it happened this way. You know, she's very specific in her wording and how she tells it.
It's a long blog.
The narrative doesn't change at all. It stays the same throughout. So
before I read his response real quick, so I found the part. So a couple things to, you know, give us some more backstory. So she did say, I've spoken to other girls recently that have experienced abuse and manipulation from him when they were vulnerable, susceptible, and some even underage. And she does put a little story about the underage thing that I'll say in a second. She also put in here, she posted this on December 9th, and she put in the blog 3 days ago, I sent him a long email about what he did to me. It was basically this post here. He responded in less than 5 minutes. He apologized, said he remembers things differently, and he'll never see me at conventions, and he'll remove himself from social media, and he's there if I need him to talk. So she has an email, assuming that she kept, of, you know, her sending him an email, and then he responded. And he responded in 5 minutes, which pissed her off in and of itself, that it took him 5 minutes to just quickly read it and then respond real quick. So I'm assuming she has that email, and therefore, you know, him responding to it kind of says enough about it. Yeah, the underage thing, she throws that comment in there when she talked to other girls, and there was this other part in here about, like, how he was telling her a story. It wasn't over till a year ago after she stopped, like, talking to him after a year ago. He bragged about meeting the parents of an underage student he was planning on sleeping with. Because he taught writing classes at a comic shop in LA that's now closed. And she says, and then the next sentence is, that's when I decided to cut him out of my life. So from her accounts, he was even getting into stuff with underage as well. Now, I will go to his...
You're accusing me of rape, but if you want to talk about it, call me. Like, fuck,
yeah.
man.
Let me find his thing. You guys can continue on. Did I send that to you, actually? Juan, his post?
I actually have it up. I'll put it up right now. Oh, wait, that's not it. Hold on. I just had it here. If you want, I could read it real quick. I was recently accused of misconduct by a former romantic partner. Not recent misconduct with which allegedly happened many years ago. Out of respect for her and our prior relationship, I will not publicly name names. I have taken a few days to respond because I wanted to make sure I wasn't talking over anyone. We're in the midst of a very important cultural conversation right now, one I wholeheartedly believe in. Never in my life did I expect that I would become one of the accused. I will not speculate as to her motivation for making these reckless allegations, but I want to make it clear that they are false. Though our relationship was unconventional, we always treated one another with dignity and respect. I heavily encourage and will fully cooperate in any forthcoming independent investigation of these claims, which I'm confident will show that I have been falsely accused. I have been notified that DC Vertigo has canceled the book I was working on. My heart breaks for the book's supporters and my creative collaborators. They don't deserve to be negatively affected by this unfortunate situation.
So, I mean, yeah, I think that's a pretty standard message. I didn't expect him to come out and claim that, he's guilty and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's just a generic to be expected response from him. And I mean, look, because I see it a lot here in the comments. Look, if the dude's innocent and it's all a lie, then it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, I think you do have to give some credibility to her and her story. I would urge you to read her blog and then kind of decide for yourself. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't think this is going away. I mean, I don't know how much follow-up we're going to get here on this story. I would assume, it'll be
she
reported
has
a little bit.
Portel Law is representing her. Basically, they sent out a thing saying, like, hey, like, we acknowledge his statement that Cynthia will no longer be directly speaking to him, and that they'll be handling all questions or anything, in the future. We'll definitely stay on it. This is how I feel. If this guy, everybody wants evidence, everyone wants proof. How are you going to prove something that happened so many years ago? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a shitty thing. If this happened, and if it didn't happen, it's shitty that his career is now jeopardized and he has that stigma on him. I don't know if she's going to sue, if she's going to press charges. I don't know. Maybe she has text messages or conversations they had. Who knows? We will have to see. But what I do hope doesn't happen is that she is attacked by people online, which of course is going to happen. Don't fucking attack this lady. Don't fucking be a dick, right? Because then other people who've been accused aren't going to want to come out. Like, don't be a dick. Don't fucking harass her on Twitter. Like, it's going to happen because there's people that fucking sit at home all day just want to stir shit.
Exactly.
We'll keep an eye on it, man. And we'll report on it again. And hopefully, like, she'll have some closure, and the law or whatever, takes over, and we'll figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the only evidence, part of it, a lot of her stories are talking about her and him at a shop, which besides the one with the girlfriend, that they should be able to maybe get in touch with that girlfriend and get her part of the story, but that girlfriend at that time, because it's not the one that she then met later. So this is an ex-girlfriend of his. But besides that woman, I would assume if they're at the comic shop, a lot of it is probably just the two of them. So they're going to have to talk to the other women that are now coming out, and they'll get their evidence that way, and we'll find out what happens from there. But either way,
and go to her Twitter, because she got text messages from people saying, like, he's tried to fuck other people's wives. Like, crazy shit, dude. I'm looking at this right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it got ugly. I mean, I stopped at the blog. I looked at the blog and I looked at Ramon's page. Ramon's page, which I'm just gonna say, Ramon Villalobos, the artist, man. The last book I read of his was Nighthawk by Marvel, which got canceled because of bad sales. And then now he's doing Border Town, and now that shit gets canceled because of this. The poor guy just can't catch a break, man. He needs to get put on a book that gets to last because I like his art. I really do.
Jesus.
So yeah. So anyways, we'll stay up on that. My next one that we'll rant about here a little bit is we posted this on the club page. So this one a lot of people have already seen. But Heroes in Crisis #7. The cover was leaked early and has now been pulled. For what I don't know. I'm guessing is what they put in here.
Sexualizing.
Yeah, sexualizing suggestive, given that the subject was a deceased and bloody female supervillain. Like, really? I mean, are we really... Like, okay, he has it up right now. I don't see it. I don't know if that's me, if that makes me a terrible person, but I don't see the sexually suggestive part here.
And this photo, I don't see it either.
Yeah.
Maybe because the booty's up in the air?
I mean, you can see the cleavage or whatever, but I mean, really, like, if... And I really, I'm going to be careful when I say this because I hate to do this kind of stuff, but if it was some of the other male characters that have died and they were doing the same thing, would we be having this conversation?
No, but we should.
I don't think so. Because I don't think it would have gotten pulled.
I don't see it either, man. I mean, like I said, just some nalgas in the air.
I guess people are complaining because of I've heard because of the blood. She's got her wrist. It looks like slit, and then she's trying to draw the flash symbol. It's telling a story. Tom King, and it's been a great ass story. Now Tom King did say he went to Twitter to explain that he personally requested the cover be taken down ahead of the release in 2019, and then I'm guessing after he heard a couple of this. Now what he says is. This is his quote, an unfinished cover for Heroes in Crisis #7 was leaked prior to going through the standard DC approval process. I did not like the cover. I discussed the situation with the DC editorial, who agreed with my objections. The cover will not be used. Thank you.
Who drew the cover?
Clay Mann, who's been pretty much doing the series.
That's nothing wrong with that cover. Like, this is what I don't agree with. Like, bro, it's fucking art. Like, it's not... To me, it's not sexually suggestive. She's fucking dead. You know what I mean? Like, she's dead, bro. Like, how? You know what I mean? And it's a nice looking cover. The art's gorgeous. Yeah, dude. Like, that's weird. I don't understand that. So the cover wasn't even printed, right? Because if it was, everybody get it.
No, they're only on #4, I believe. So this is a future cover. But it just, I mean, and when I read his thing, okay, did you really not like it? And I'd be curious to know, what are your reasons why you didn't? Are you agreeing with this, Tom King? Or did you give in to everybody complaining and bitching, which seems to be DC's thing now because of, the Damned and all that kind of stuff?
They should cover all these statues with their peepees out, too, because that's offensive.
Okay, so real quick.
Oh, man.
Now, for the Heroes in Crisis, there's alternate covers, right? There's one cover,
correct,
and the second cover, which has a file. So here's the ones. Now, #1 is still in my LCS. It's in my file there. It would have been a great one to you. But here's covers for issues 2 and 3, because I like these ones that have the files.
Move it back.
Oh, sorry. In that one, you can see Bane. I'll bring it a little closer. You can see Bane. Bane is carrying Batman. Now, we know he's breaking his back, but... You see a big burly man who's holding his hands around another man, and the guy's screaming. You want to pick straws? You could sexualize that. Wonder Woman, dude's on the floor with a mouth punched in, and she's standing over him with a rope. You could sexualize that. People are grasping at straws nowadays. You can.
I mean, honestly, what's next, right? You can't have, let's say, Superman fight Wonder Woman because you shouldn't hit a girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you shouldn't hit a girl in real life.
In real life, but it's comic life. It's a fair trade, right? That's what's gonna happen.
Because Wonder Woman could beat that ass too. So don't worry about that.
Exactly. She gives as much as she takes.
Regular cover to #2 is Harley using the rope to choke the shit out of Batman.
Oh,
BDSM over here.
What's it called? Asphyxiation sex. There you go.
Which does happen in the storyline. But to your point, there is there's a statue that is in this case back here, right there, that came out for the Injustice 2. And there was an American release for the special edition that came with the statue, which is Wonder Woman and Batman, and he is kind of like fighting, and then she's above him, and she's got a rocket spaceship that she's holding up in the air. There's a UK version of the same game, and it was him, like they were punching each other, or she's choking him or something. I think it's him punching her. And it was banned in America because it symbolizes, domestic abuse and male on woman violence. And that's why, so you can look it up. UK has the statue. Someone on Instagram posted it a couple weeks ago because they have it. And then there's this version, which is the American version that is, safe because they're not hitting each other. She's holding the spaceship and he's down on the ground.
Right.
And so, that's an example of right there. They do that kind of stuff.
Right.
People complain.
And it's crazy because it's a comic book. In comics, to me, it's one of the best forms of equality. They have men and women fighting, but the women are just as strong, if not stronger than the men. And they tell really good stories. It's art, right? So, for this cover, I'm going to show it again. I personally don't see anything wrong with it. It's a beautiful cover. And James, I finally caught up with Heroes in Crisis. This is a great story. Really, really enjoying it. As someone who's very open about my own issues with, my anxiety and depression. It's a really good read, man, and it really humanizes these heroes. And I don't want to stray too far from the subject, but it's a really good story. And to me, like to bitch over a cover like this, to me, it's you're like Chad said, you're grasping at straws. You know what I mean? You're reaching. You know what I mean? Like it's let art be art. You know what I mean? I felt the same way with Batman Damned. Like it should have never been censored, but people are not mature enough to see a dick and not giggle. You know what I mean? Like it's art, bro. It's not like porno, right? It's just art, and we can't even appreciate that anymore without someone getting upset.
Yeah, I finished the Batman Damned, but that's just me. But that's never the story.
Middle of winter, we're all surrounded by snowflakes because it's getting stupid. You can't do anything nowadays, and trust me, but I get it. It's a problem out there in the world, and it should be dealt with. But if you would take the energy that you're putting into complaining about a comic book cover into doing something, instead of sitting on your keyboard typing about how a comic book cover offends you, why not just go donate time at a local shelter or a woman's shelter or a family shelter? Like, you know what I mean? If you're going to use that energy just to bash something, to bash it, go out and do something for positive. Go help people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's a comic book. I'll say again, at the end of the day, it's a comic book. That's it.
It doesn't change the world. They didn't change the world by releasing that cover.
Yeah. World peace will not be found in the pages of Batman Damned or Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, no way.
Oh, here, sorry, real quick. I could infer a lot of things from this Batman Damned cover Harley Quinn, the way she's moving her lips on her mouth.
Sexually suggestive. Is
that
very
sexually suggestive?
Yeah. No, that's terrible.
Boy. Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, if I'm not even releasing covers or stories until the day of. If I'm like DC or Marvel, you ain't getting shit. You ain't getting no previews. You're not getting no leaked art. It just every Wednesday some random ass books come out, and what you get is what you get.
Yeah,
it's crazy. We ruin all this stuff.
Hey,
well,
what?
Go ahead.
Real quick, did you guys read the Batman Who Laughs #1?
I haven't yet. I gotta read it.
I did, but I kind of did it in like a hurry.
That's my book of the week. That one was really fucking good. Everyone go read it. It's a very interesting story, and it started off pretty. It's pretty good, man. I'm pretty excited for that one. I read Damn 2. I'm not really into it. But for my book of the week would be Batman Who Laughs #1. Go read that shit.
I finished my Kyle Rayner Volume 1 trade back of Green Lantern. That was really, really good. Tomorrow I should get, along with my Jeff Loeb colors, Volume 2 will be delivered to me.
And
so I'll be
it.
reading that.
There's no more after that.
And then that's it, because they fucking canceled it. Yeah, and then that's it. That's all I get. Anywho, so as we started last week, or last time we were on, we are gonna end the show. Well, we got a couple announcements at the end, but we end the show on one last little topic, which is to do with collecting. Get to know us as collectors and how we collect or how we organize and all that kind of stuff. So this one, did you come up with this, Jay, or you got this from someone else?
I just came up with it.
Okay. So I've done these in the past. I think I made one of these last year. It was going around on Instagram. But New Year's resolutions for your collecting this year.
I was calling them book solutions.
There you go, book solutions. So whether it be you're not, for example, mine last year was no more variants, or at least way cut down on it. Which I think I did a good job. I did get like cover Bs and stuff from the shops, but as far as like all the pre-order ones that come out, I won't say names, but like all the pages and websites that each get their own different one that you got to spend $15 to $35. I really could say I probably bought, I don't know, I would say less. It's got to be way less than 5.
Total for the whole year?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the only ones that I ordered from a place like that is
golf clap for that one.
The Thanos, the one where
Thanos.
Whatever. I think it was from Unknown, and it's kind of like it's him, and then Cosmic Ghost Rider is riding on the Rainbow Road. Is what I'm gonna call it. I got that one because that was just fucking incredible. So I had to special order that one. Our club variants, which are still available, so hit up Merc with the Beard for that. I did get those, and that's it. I mean, really, I think as far as like ordering, so I think I did.
That's not
good.
too bad.
I think I did pretty good. I remember last year I got like a shit ton of Tyler Kirkham stuff, so I had to cut back a little bit. But now that I've given you guys time to think, what are your ones? Well, 2 questions. Did you have any last year, and what'd you do? And do you have any for this year?
Coming up,
yes.
I've had one for like 10 years, and I'm happy to announce that I finally did it. I soon will be the proud holder and owner of a Hulk 181. Signed. This one's going to be signed by Roy Thomas and John Romita, which are the last 2 signatures I need. I have another book signed by Trimp, Stan, and Len Wein. This year, I don't know. There's not like, I would love a 180 to complete the set. I will be, due to me owning this new book, I will be greatly reducing the amount of books I buy in the next year. More focus. I'm a huge, people give me shit. I'm a huge Wolverine fan, so I'll be focusing more on building up more of my collection of different titles I don't have yet. I have the whole run, but there's other series and one shots and stuff I don't have. But as far as books themselves, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to try to maybe get there's a really nice Tyler Kirk. I don't know if it's Tyler Kirk. I can't remember if it's Tyler Kirkman or if it's the Mike. I really want the Mike Mayhew X-Force cover to Return of Wolverine. The one where he's on the front, and it looks like he painted it. It looks like perfectly real, like it looks like a Photoshop picture, but he's actually hand painted, so it looks really cool. So other than that, though, no big books on the horizon this year due to promises made to my wife.
What about like collecting, like any like whether it be organizing or anything like that, or cutting back or just whatever?
Well, yeah, due to the newest purchase, yeah. Selling, yeah, I will be trying to cut my collection down a bit. I'm going to be selling a lot of sets that I have. Hopefully people like them. It's not that they're not bad, it's stuff I read, I liked, but it's just, I'm never going to revisit it because it's a good story, but I don't really want to go back and read it again. So yeah, just trying to trim down my collection, fine tune it, cut out the fat, if you will. And just trying to what's the proper word, sharpen or hone my collection to more Wolverine and more Batman centric stuff.
Nice.
Okay.
I'll go.
Last year I really didn't have anything major. So next year I am not going to probably be going after a ton of big books. I'm just gonna go after one big book.
I know
just one big book, and that's a Fantastic Four #1. I'm hoping that I could start in January, putting money on the side, and then by October, November, I'll have one in my hands. That's the goal. And I'm gonna try to really stick to that. Even if that means cutting down my pull lists and getting a couple of side jobs.
Eating ramen noodles.
Eating ramen noodles for about 6 months. Whatever I have to do, it'll be done. Next year, I do have some statues from Sideshow's collectibles coming in. About 3. I have an X-23, the Catwoman, and hopefully sometime soon they'll announce the Punisher Sideshow statue. So I think what I'll be working on is working on a display for those. And then, picking
the
up
sweet one with the bat, the Punisher. Sorry,
the one with the bat, the new one,
the one that New York Comic Con,
the new one that I saw at New York Comic Con.
That one looks sick.
I really like that one a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to be doing. Then some omnis here or there. They're coming out with some Conan the Omnibus, the Marvel years. They're coming out with that one, so I want to pick that one up. That's it, man. But mainly cutting back on a ton of books or big books, cutting back on my pulls, and just putting effort into that Fantastic Four #1, because I know that's going to be much like how Chad's 181 is his like grail. Fantastic Four, #1 is mine. Once I get that, I mean, what else? What else is there?
Yeah, and for people I know a thing I'm going to be doing this year. I really want to try it this year. Is if you see a series you like that you're going to be interested in, but you're like, I can't afford every, if it's going to be a 10-issue series, an ongoing series. Go to InStockTrades.com after a couple months. Get the trades. There's nothing wrong with owning trades. There seems to be sort of attitude or this perceived notion that, you're not a real comic collector. All you get is trade paperbacks. Hey, man, some people can't afford $5-6 depending on what the book is every week or every month. And as dumb as that, you can't afford $6 every month. Some people can't, man. And they can't afford to sit there and buy 13 issues or 14 issues or more a year. So get the trade. It's
even collecting a whole run. I agree. Some people don't want to collect $100, $50. They, you want to get the story.
And it's cost effective. Amazon or IST, right. You're going to get for $20, you'll get 6 or 7 issues. Whereas singularly, 6 or 7 issues might cost you $30 or $40. So try to do that if you're like, I really like that. Like Die. I like the series, but I'm not paying. It's in Canada, so you got to convert the price. It's almost $6 an issue. So I'm like, I'll wait till the first trade comes out. I'll spend $15 on it because the first one's usually cheaper. And if I continue to like it, then I'll get the next one. But
Ben Demon Hunter asks, is there a trade of Frank Miller's Wolverine? Yeah, there is. There's a trade paperback. I would suggest not looking for our Omni because that one's a little more expensive. Unless they do a re-release, which I hope they do. But yeah, Chad, I'm sure Chad could point you in the right direction. But you could find those easily, and I guarantee it'll be a lot cheaper. It'll be a lot cheaper. Yeah. Or just ask Boogie because he has about 25 Wolverine #1 covers that he just has laying around his house.
Yeah. No, there's Ben. There's definitely trade paperback for the Wolverine 1-4 miniseries by Frank Miller from '82. There definitely is. You can find them almost anywhere.
I'm trying to look if I have what I have. Ben, are you in Canada?
Yes, he is. He's from Alberta, the same province as Cabby.
Okay. I really do think I have. Ben, hit me up after this if I have, because I want to say I have 2. I'm being for real. I really do. I think I have.
I'm laughing at Boogie. He said no.
And hit me up, and I'll send you mine if I have an extra one, which I'm pretty sure I do. I think I have 2 different styles. One's like a big, almost like a magazine kind, and then I think
Premier Edition. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, and then I should have the trade because I read it, so I know I have the trade somewhere.
Is it the white cover? That's the first one they came out with in 1987. Was the white cover.
Okay, so I have this.
Okay, see, that's good.
That's the Steve McNiven homage cover one. Yep.
So, yeah, that's the hardback one. So I have that, and then I have. Let me grab it. I know this is bad radio, but
That's
I don't
okay.
want to
Hey,
keep sitting here thinking about it.
We're not on radio, but that's okay.
I know, podcast, whatever.
Whatever.
Soon. Be on radio soon.
Only people watching us are the people who like us. So
There you go.
yeah, that one.
That one.
Yeah, that's the one I got.
Okay, so I do have two of them. So Ben, hit me up after this, and I'll send you one of these, and that'll take care of that for you.
Good
There
shit.
we go.
So what about
There we
you,
go.
Jay? What are you thinking about getting next year? What's your? I know you're into the Batman Rogues.
Yeah.
Anyone particularly got your eyeballs on?
Yeah. Let's see. What do I have them in front of me? So I picked up a bunch this year. To be honest, I believe the only thing I'm left with is big ones like fucking Clayface and Solomon Grundy.
Talk to Steve.
Yeah, right. That's. I mean, that's pretty much it, dude. I mean, I got most of the other ones, the major ones. So now it's just the older, way more expensive ones. So maybe one of those. I'm gonna be honest. My plan this year is to kind of cut back a little bit. I would like to buy a house this year, if not be totally set up to buy one. So I think I need to cut back quite a bit. But I know for me, it's going to be, like we talked about, cutting down collection. Like, I've got so much stuff that, like, I don't even use or look at or go through or just all kinds. And the good thing is that we have so much stuff going on in the club now between the military and the Comics for Kids one. So I actually have been putting together, like, just boxes and boxes of stuff to give away because I'm not using it, you know. Someone else could totally benefit much more than I could from just having it sitting here. But I think that's pretty much it. Go after one of those big ones and cut back. And then the major one that I will be doing, last year I set the goal of getting more CGC slabs, or just slabs in general, but mostly CGC. And I did that. I'm up to like, I don't know, 20 or 30 now or some ridiculous. This year, I need to send in my own shit. I have so much. I have a bunch of books that I need to get sent in, and that's going to be my goal this year. Is to either, whether it be make an account and get them sent in, or find them at a local Comic-Con or whatever. But I have tons of them. Like I have to send in, like this Hulk 180 right here. That's just, I got to get that one sent in. So that's going to be my plan. Right. So that's going to be my plan. Is
Hey, shout out to TiVo. In the comment section, Lords of the Long Box, our homies over there. How's it going?
They just did an Aquaman review today, I believe. So
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
If you've already watched it, check it out. I think they did spoiler free as well. I'm pretty sure they did.
Hey guys, let's collab, man. Lords of the Long Box and the Fiend Club. Let's work on a collab. Let's get together. Have a good time.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my resolution. So people out there, what are your guys' resolutions for this year? Hit us up, let us know what you guys want to do. Whether it be trimming down, whether it be focusing your collection, all that kind of stuff. Also, I got to give a quick shout out here to J2K from the international chapter. He just had his baby girl today.
Yes.
So shout out to him. We got another Fiend in training. I think we were talking about it earlier. That's like, what, 4 babies, right? Like 4. I had mine this year. Cabby's had his. Then we got J2K. Just crazy.
And with
West Coast, big Papa Comics on the West Coast of Canada had one too.
Oh man!
In last year, yeah.
And with that announcement, we're going to be doing a special Fiend cast on the 28th of December. It's going to be myself, along with the international chapter of our club. So I probably won't understand a thing they're saying. Neither will you. But I'll try my best. We'll have J2K on with his baby and a couple of those other folks there with them, and we'll get to know them a little better. It'll be a special start time. I think it'll be like 10 in the morning for me. So bright and early.
Yeah, they're way different.
They live in the future, I think.
Yeah, it's like 2019 already over there.
So we're looking forward to that, man. That's going to be awesome. We're going to get them on there. And then probably starting January, February, you'll probably get some new faces on here. April is around the corner. So start hitting us up, getting into our DMs and our posts. Because next thing you know, it's going to be April. It's going to be enrollment time again. That's it as far as any news I got.
I have two things real quick. Brightburn. I just saw Count Von Strange said the Brightburn. Did you guys see that shit?
That shit was gnarly. I wish I could pull up the trailer Superman. Right now.
Holy shit. That looked awesome.
Yeah.
Horror version of Superman looks great.
James Gunn?
Yeah. Isn't that trolling?
He's a producer.
He's a producer, and then two other guns are doing.
His brothers wrote.
How many guns are there? Jesus. It's like just tons of guns in that family.
Also, real quick, I'm gonna have to save this for next week, the full story. So we'll save it for next week. I'll do a bunch more research on it. But earlier, Chad was talking about collecting and getting trades and all that kind of stuff and being able to binge. There is a new publisher coming in 2019, and I can't remember the damn name of it.
TKO.
TKO. They are going to specialize in coming out with series that are going to be released in like 6 series. They're going to come out at a time. There's going to be 6 individuals, regular books. I know some people refer to them as floppies. The regular stuff that you get every week. They're going to come out with all of them at the same time, or they're going to have a trade that comes out right then and there, same day. And I think there's even like a hardcover or something like that. But they're going to categorize all this stuff, and they're going to try to appeal to the binge watch community, and that's just a great idea.
Yeah, we better hit them up, man. We might be able to get sponsored.
Yeah, right.
Fuck it, we have thousands of followers.
And I think I said it was Rick Remender, right? He was on the list.
Rick
Remender? Yeah,
Remender?
Whatever his last name is. I don't fucking know. I don't remember. So he is going. I think he's one of the ones that they have signed up on it.
Jeff Lemire's there too, isn't he?
Yeah. So they got some good names, and as long as the stories are going to be good, that is going to be awesome to be able to just boom right then and there, just pick it up, finish the shit.
As soon as we get off of here, I'm gonna email. Hit him up. Like, hey.
Yeah.
Give us that sponsorship.
You guys aren't even out yet, but we mentioned you, so.
We were sponsored by IST.
Or if they just send us the first one. The first one that comes out, just send us a copy.
And we'll review it. Sounds good to me.
Pretty much.
What else, guys? Keep paying attention to the Instagram page. We're almost done with our 12 days of Fiendmas. Is that what's it called?
Christmas.
It should be Fiendmas. Holy shit! Next year,
like Festivus.
Festivus
the best ones are yet to come, though.
It's a Fiendmas for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We have some really good ones coming up. What's the one that went up today?
Some big ones. Today
Boogie's gift certificate to Monkey Biz.
Gift certificate to Monkey Biz. Go do that. Also, if you set up a pool with him, you get like an extra 30% off, I want to say. I'm going to say 30% off because he's not here to say it himself. So it's 30% off.
Any distance tonight.
And tomorrow, I'll say it now, tomorrow as a special thing for the people watching us, tomorrow's prize is win a guest spot as a host on the Fiendcast with us for a show.
Boom. Mic drop.
And we just have to get you guys on early enough. What we'll do is you have to have a Facebook page. We'll put all of us in the chat and we'll discuss what we're discussing. Believe it or not, there's a lot of planning that goes into the shit. Oh, it's 25% off. Sorry, Jay.
Well, it's 30 now, bitch. It's 30 now. We already said
it. So yeah, $100 gift certificate to Monkey Biz Comics. Oh man! So yeah, for a host, we're gonna have a Facebook page. If you don't have one, create one. We'll hit you up and we'll add you to a special chat, and that way we could discuss. Like I said, there's plenty that goes into this. We got to be on at least 30 minutes before we go live and discuss what we're gonna go over. I mean, we try to plan as much as possible and then go from there. So yeah, you'll be on. You'll be a part of the Fiendcast. We're looking forward to that. And
please have a laptop or a decent camera phone.
Yeah,
please.
Please.
Otherwise, your ass is going to be audio only.
And if you need a computer, you go to qvc.com.
Yep, they have great laptops on today's special value every once in a while.
James is a longtime fan of them.
Long time. Yep.
Oh man, I think that's it, man. Are we good?
I'm definitely done now.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Right, so I'll be off Thursday. I'll be getting that up, the podcast up then. We're working on some things for the YouTube channel. We want to start doing reviews, shit like that, and we'll go from there. With that, for James and for Chad, I wish you guys a good night. Next Sunday, we won't be having a show because okay, we'll have a show next Sunday. Whatever.
Next Sunday's only it's only the 23rd. Next Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Shit, I thought
nobody celebrates Christmas Eve.
Well, it's Festivus. I have to celebrate. No, okay, so we'll have a show. I lied. For some reason I thought it was Christmas Eve, but it's not. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll see you guys next Sunday. With that said, have a good night. I'll play us out. Peace.
Later.